I'm Sue Hansen with the NOPL Cooking. We are NOPL staff and clerks and friends of NOPL that are gathering around. I thank you for gathering around at the time that I have my go-to dish. Anytime there's a gathering or Christmas or the holiday, there is something to behold in this simple dish that was given to me by a friend in college from her stepmom. And it is just spinach quiche, but I've downsized it to spinach bites. And what that means is I'm using Wegmans, I'm using some mini phyllo pastry shells. You can get them at Price Chopper. They're amazing, and I couldn't go anywhere else without it for the summer. My oven is preheated to 350. I only need these in for about 20 minutes, and I could tell you what the ingredients are from there. Well, it's preheating. I've got 8 jumbo eggs. I've got 2 cups of dahlia onion. I've got 2 to 3 cups of chopped baby spinach. You can get that in the package in your greens. And I got some Gruyere cheese that is grated. I grated it because it's a lot cheaper if you do it yourself. It's basically just the 5-year-old Wegmans medium aged. You can get Swiss cheese if you want to save a little bit, just as good. It has to be melty cheese to get the ingredients all together. And the key ingredient being the cheese is that I layer that first instead of on top. I have that on the bottom with the onion, and I layer the spinach and then repeat. So we're going to whip these eggs first with 2 to 3 cups of heavy cream. Once I get the eggs first nice and pale, frothy, I can start adding the heavy cream little by little. And once we have our batter, I can start to layer the phyllo cups, which are over here on the side. I'm going to layer onion, cheese, spinach, batter. That's the order it's going to go in. And they go in the oven for close to 20 minutes. I keep a good eye on it because, again, these are bite size. If this were normally a quiche, I would have it in the oven for about 45 minutes, and it would be a portion. You'd cut it up like a pie. About a minute of whipping. If you want to make it easier, you might do a few eggs at a time. Now I'm ready. It's frothy and pale. Got some bone there. Ready to add a little bit, about 1/4 cup of cream. Keep stirring. Keep stirring so that it all mixes up well. I sometimes put a towel underneath just to keep the bowl steady. A lot of workout. About 3 cups of this cream. I sometimes go for 4, but you want to look at the color and make sure that it's not too pale. I think that's good enough. If you need a little bit more, you can add some. When you start layering, sometimes I'll add a couple of eggs in the end, just a touch. In a quiche, I would never do it, but for the bite size you can. So now here is the color. Whoops, I almost got my cat. Here is the color of the batter. So now we're ready to start layering. Okay, I'm going to bring over the cups, phyllo shells. And I'm going to layer first with onion. A little bit of onion in each one. Move this over. Boy, I'm out of breath because it's hot today. I think it's 90. Of course, with the oven on, who knows? Okay, the oven is ready, so we're getting there. And we'll keep doing this filling until we have, we do spinach, or sorry, cheese. Onion and then cheese. Hi, Anna. My cat's watching. This is her favorite part of the dish. No, you can't have any cheese. So while I've got about half a dozen of these to 12 of them filled up, I'm going to start now with the spinach on top of the cheese. A little bit goes a long way. Probably you don't need more than a bag if you're serving about, I have 36 of these phyllo cups. Some more than others are a little bit deeper because some of them are a little bit flat, and that's just kind of how it goes. Don't worry if you have cracks You could always fill them up. I've seen this with quiche recipes, that if you have a cracked pie shell, it will easily seal up with some butter and some flour. So I've done these for years and I have not had any complaints. The best compliment I've had is that they smell so good coming out of the oven. And I've used them for curling events, and people are just seeing it written down that I'm signed up to do it, and they're all excited. So now I'm going to add in the batter on top of these little guys here. And I'd say I filled this up, it's a 1/4 cup, so I filled it up about halfway. And I'm just going to go into each one of these cups until I see them pretty close to the top. You want to cover up, not all, but get enough so that you can see the batter through the leaves of the spinach. All right, so once I've had these all filled up, I'm going to put them in the oven. And we're going to leave them in there until they're golden for about 15 to 20 minutes. Hey, I'm Sue Hansen. I'm back again. We just pulled my husband and I just pulled out the quiche bites, the spinach quiche bites that are in the cups. It took, as I said, 20 minutes to bake, and as you can see, so there's been a lot of sticking. With hindsight, there's always 20/20. I could have used parchment paper to eliminate the stickiness on and cleaning up, but I really don't mind. They taste great. There is always going to be that chance of leaking, overfilling, or leaking through the phyllo cups, and what happens next is you got to clean up. That's fine with me. It still saved me a lot of time in the oven. It took only half the time that it would normally in a full quiche. Again, this batter, you could do a full 8-inch quiche if you wanted to in a pie shell, and it would take about 45 minutes. In this case, I made enough to do these plus another pie. So the recipe is enough to fill the bellies of about 15 to 30 people, depending upon how hungry they are. You can do just the bite size as not a meal, or you can use that pie as a meal in itself with some salad. I will be serving these on a dish to the side, nothing special. Sometimes I'll put a little on top a sprig of thyme or some kind of an herb that's fresh from the garden, or some, a little bit of spinach. You can pair it up with some nice wines, some dry Rieslings, and bacon bits on top of that to get a nice punch. I'm not much of a beer person, but I know for wine connoisseurs, they really like this at the curling club when I've had events. It's been great to serve anytime when you need something to come up with something quick and nobody has any idea who's cooking the next day. So it does come in handy. I've had a lot of good leftovers after a couple days. You can chill these, or you could freeze a whole pie shell or a quiche for about a month. And then to reheat it, it takes about 10 to 15 minutes in, let's say, low in the microwave, or throw it in the oven for about 20 minutes on low heat, and you're ready to serve. So this has been my go-to. Thank you very much for sharing your time with the NOPL staff. This is the NOPL Cook channel. I'm Sue Hansen, signing off.